The USFL is coming back and returning in the spring of 2022. Let's talk about it. The first incarnation of the United States Football League failed after 3 seasons when the league tried to move games into the fall in 1986. But plans to relaunch the league were announced on Thursday. The Spring League founder and CEO Brian Woods has partnered with Fox Sports to bring the league back as an 8-team operation that will play in the spring of 2022. He said, quote, in a statement, quote, "I'm extremely passionate about football, and the opportunity to work with Fox Sports to bring back the USFL in 2022 was an endeavor worth pursuing. We look forward to providing players a new opportunity to compete in a professional football league, giving fans everywhere the best football viewing product possible during what is typically a period devoid of professional football." In addition to broadcasting games, Fox Sports is also a minority as partner and minority owner, essentially, in the league. So, question is, what do we think about this? I think it's interesting, right? It's interesting. I don't think it's necessarily bad. And I think overall it's a good sentiment. I like more football, if you ask me. I will say this. If we're talking about the USFL versus the XFL, I much rather prefer what I saw from the XFL last year. Because the XFL 2020 was amazing. Like, that was... I know the ratings actually, like, you know, they stagnated a little bit, but they were still pretty good considering, you know, off-season sports and like live sports, especially during that time. Those are still pretty good ratings for those XFL games. Like, I think they were hitting about, you know, between 750 to 1 million, which is great. I think even their last few games they were still getting 1 million, which is still great. Anyway, but you know, the XFL, I think, had a lot of momentum, and obviously COVID ruined a lot of that. And I think there is an appetite. There is 100% an appetite for spring football, especially in 2022, coming off this pandemic. There's an appetite to want to cheer, and hopefully the USFL can bring some teams to some local markets and really make a go of this thing and make it successful. I hope for its success. I hope it doesn't emulate anywhere near what the what was it, the AAF did. The AAF was a train wreck. And I think the reason it won't end up like the AAF, I don't know what the deal is with Fox, but if Fox is behind it, I can promise you this. They're at least going to finish the season, barring, you know, fingers crossed, knock on wood, barring, you know, another pandemic. I think that they're going to at least finish the season. So we're going to see it play out because Fox is just going to put money into it and make sure it at least finishes what they started. But the AAF didn't have that, obviously, because they were running off of, you know, good faith on some people, and that good faith didn't really turn out well. The reason the XFL last year was so great and lasted so long and actually definitely would have finished their season sans COVID is because they had a backing of Vince McMahon, who's a real billionaire, who was funneling money to make sure it was a success until it, you know, closed because of COVID. But I'm excited. I'm excited about the USFL because I'm excited for all football. The interesting thing is the XFL is planning on coming back in 2022 with The Rock at the helm. And on top of that, the XFL is teaming up with the CFL, and they're partnering with the CFL to potentially, you know, have some sort of an agreement there. So that's going to be interesting to see. You know, with Fox having the agreement, with the USFL and the CFL and the XFL having an agreement, it's going to be very interesting to see how that plays out. And one thing we know, the XFL brand itself, the XFL brand is strong right now because I know personally a lot of DC Defenders fans, they're still waiting. They're waiting for the time they get their team. I think there's a lot of appetite in those markets that the XFL was in. And I think the USFL should actually take an approach where they go to markets where either the XFL won't be in 2022, like return to those markets, or go to markets that we know are hungry for football, but there's no leagues in. And I think you can accomplish that. You can accomplish that, and the USFL can have a place. And who knows? This might even work its way into being, another like a mini, you know, AFL, NFL kind of thing, where the Super Bowl, like their version of the Super Bowl, is the USFL champions versus the XFL champions. That would be cool. That would be freaking cool. A spring league championship. Book it. Make it happen, Rock. What's this guy's name? What's this guy's name? Brooks or whatever. Brian Woods. Rock, make it happen. Let's make it happen. I want to see the XFL champion versus the USFL champion to crown the mini bowl, the junior bowl, whatever you want to call it, the spring bowl. There we go. I love that. I love that. Let's do that. Make it a thing. Thanks for watching this video from Real Take Sports Talk. Remember to like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you get notified whenever a new video is released. Also, remember to check out our live show every single Thursday at 8 p.m. right here on the YouTube channel. And remember, keep it real.